All right, you're welcome. This is Oluyole 98.5 FM. It's time for Newsbeat. This is the program where we give you news you can use. And of course, I am Oladayo Ogunbowale.
I am Abiodun Akinkunle. Good morning.
All right, we're coming to you live from the studios of Oluyole 98.5 FM, right here in the studios of the Broadcasting Corporation of your state. We're broadcasting live on the radio network. So we are live on Agility 92.1 FM as well, Okyogun 96.3 FM as well. And of course, for our online audience, on Twitter at Oluyole FM, Facebook.com at Oluyole 98.5 FM. Of course, we are live on Instagram and of course Radio Garden. You prefer Mixlr? Yes, we are on mixlr.com/Oluyole FM. And of course, in due time, we will be opening the phone lines for you, our distinguished listeners, to also weigh in and let's know your opinion about either of the headlines as you prefer. I know it's COVID-19, everybody wants to talk about now. But then, of course, there are some other stories probably related or para-COVID now, as the case may be. Once again, you're welcome. This is Newsbeat. I have a copy of the Punch newspaper right here.
Well, with me, I have a copy of the Nigerian Tribune.
All right, straight to the headline. It's the 10th day of the 4th month. Year 2020. It's Friday, and it's not just Friday, it's Good Friday. Well, even though it's Good Friday, lockdown continues. All right, so there's this headline: Buhari task force meets today over nationwide lockdown. There's a writer: we've collected data for possible lockdown in all states. That's PTF, Presidential Task Force, and Lagos begins house-to-house search for COVID-19 suspects. Nigeria's cases rise to 290. U.S. death toll crosses 16,000 mark. Wow. U.S. 16,000 plus.
From the Nigerian Tribune, I have Easter. Federal government social restriction order still in force, says SGF. Lagos says restriction on movement not lifted, discharges 7 patients. Abia, Imo, Ebonyi, Kogi, Rivers, Ondo suspend ban on religious activities. Kwara declares total lockdown in 16 local government areas.
And we have on the Punch newspaper, page 23 right there. Federal government, National Assembly to pay for 2-month free electricity. Discos, I like these guys. They are pushing it to people that don't come and say it's government. Let's be specific. Federal government, National Assembly to pay for 2-month free electricity. That's the discos talking there. Details on page 23 of the Punch newspaper. Aha.
There are some that uses.
I hope the National Assembly is not even going. Prepaid that have loaded their meters for the next 2 months.
COVID-19 pandemic has cost the world $8 trillion, says IMF.
Wow.
To push Africa into forced recession in 25 years, says World Bank.
Well, it's Good Friday, and the Christian Association of Nigeria is in the news, but not because of Good Friday. Government not transparent about relief materials, says Khan. Details of that, page 19 of the Punch newspaper.
Again, NMA rejects engagement of Chinese experts for COVID-19 fight. Reps to monitor Chinese medical personnel, says the speaker. Says legislation for spending of COVID-19 donation likely they will be tested for COVID-19. Federal government assures.
And we have health, education. Niger Delta suffer 321 billion naira budget cut. Details on page 22. Structural adjustment program is started. Details on page 22 of the Punch newspaper.
And a good news from Bauchi State, page 31 of the Nigerian Tribune. Bauchi governor recovers from COVID-19.
Oh, we thank God. We thank God. 170 countries to experience negative income growth. That's not growth now.
Negative.
I mean, do you grow negatively? You know, that's IMF. Anyway, 170 countries to experience negative income growth. IMF. Details on page 24 of the Punch newspaper.
Now, crude oil price jumps to $33.25 per barrel from the Nigerian Tribune, page 25.
We thank God. We shall hope it can sustain that. At least it's just stay above 30, because that's our benchmark. God help us. Okay, we have this story. Rivers local government seals Caverton helicopters office in Port Harcourt. This gas boost is still continuing.
Yes, still on Caverton pilots. Airlines. Pilot issue 24 hours ultimatum to Wiki. Labour threatening to shut down Rivers.
Wow. And we have Kwara imposes total lockdown to stop COVID-19 spread. Details on page 2. I thought it was only enough before. Oh, now it's total. Okay.
Nigeria, Chad agreed to sustain tempo over Boko Haram's defeat.
And I'm talking about managing post-COVID-19 economy. Lagos plans reordering of 2020 budget.
I think that's better.
Yeah, I mean, let's be sincere with ourselves and not stop deceiving ourselves.
Still on COVID-19, Afenifere Partners Tribune on relief for health workers.
And on federal government palliatives, 15,000 Osun residents to get FG's 20,000 naira each. Oyetola, that's the governor of Osun State, talking. Their details on page 17 of the Punch newspaper.
And still from the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, Buhari pardons Enahoro, Ambrose Ali, others, 2,600 inmates freed.
That sounds nice. 202 Lagos lockdown violators arraigned, 189 convicted. Stay at home. Stay at home. Stay at home. Pages 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper.
Yeah. You know why we are still contesting for COVID-19? Ondo 2020, Ayonide declares bid to contest under PDP.
Wow, the elections are here. That's true. People are getting kind. Election will happen in Ondo State, except maybe INEC postpones anyway. But it's, I mean, those dates are almost fixed. You know, so yeah, people have started declaring. I wonder who will vote now. Maybe we start declaring or sharing palliative measure and put Ondo 2020. Use it to do campaign. It's part of it. Buhari grants posthumous pardon to Ambrose Ali and Hauro, others. Details of those who are granted pardon, page 12 of the Punch newspaper. Right there. Let's see. Do I have economic stories? Oh, it's here. The other gas bills happening in the National Assembly right there. National Assembly knocks presidential aid for claims on NSIP. Wow. We'll come back to that story. Okay. Because it's generating some heat currently.
Lagos Mobile Court tries 202 joggers, cyclists for flouting lockdown order.
No wonder the jogging, they can't jog inside their compound.
You can't just jog.
I met some people at the gates of business as we were driving in this morning.
Yeah, I saw some.
Stay at home. I'll say it again. Stay at home. Okay.
Jog in your bedroom.
It's better. Okay. I think that's about that. Let me see if we have some sports stories before we go on break today. Ajunwa, that's Choma Ajunwa, praises Nigeria health workers over COVID-19 fight.
Before I go into sports,
okay.
Senator Robert Oluyole dies at 86.
Wow. So rest in peace. And also on the sports scene right here, we have LeBron. NBA season needs to finish for closure.
And Yobo says, I had discussions with Yobo, says Roy.
Casillas proposes Legends El Clasico game. Interesting. That would be nice. That would be nice. We have FIFA rankings. Nigeria maintain 31st position. Remove the 3 now. Let's make it first.
And from Tyson, boxers will always be paid higher than MMA fighters.
Wow. Okay. That's because they don't have much audience. Talking about boxing now, Joshua stuns boxing world with Ali comments. That's our own Anthony Joshua. Stuns boxing world with Ali comments.
I could have signed for Man U, not me, says Money.
Okay. COVID-19, Solomon Otabo donates food to Edo residents.
And also still on COVID-19, Southampton players agree deferred salaries.
And this is a very, very well. Eagles slept with women at France 98, Taribo West. Pastor Taribo.
98.
That they sneaked women into their hotel rooms. I'm like, Pastor Taribo, how far? You are bringing this now. I'm wondering why is Pastor Taribo doing this at this moment? We'll go on a short break. It's 2 Newsbeat on Oluyole 98.5 FM. When we come back, we'll give you details behind those headlines. Please don't go anywhere.
Coronavirus, COVID-19, don't enter town. Coronavirus, yes, alias COVID-19. CO for corona, VI for virus, D for disease, and 19 for the year when start. This killer virus when no know papa, mama, uncle, auntie, pikin, friend, enemies, even fine boy or fine girl not get this matter. Now for real, and if it kill anybody for town, city, village, or anywhere. To stay safe, wash your hands with soap for 20 seconds or use sanitizer when you get alcohol every time. No touch your face and stay home. No more waka waka. But if you get serious waka, stay far from people. If you want sneeze or cough, fold your elbow and sneeze or cough inside them. If you get dry cough, sore throat with high fever and you find them hard to breathe, make you stay inside house, away from family and friends, and call 0800-9700-0010 and person go attend to you sharp. COVID-19, don't enter town. This message now from Coalition Against COVID-19, CACOVID.
Newsbeats.
Still there. This is Oluyole 98.5 FM and the program is News Bits. Are you just joining us? Okay, all right. I am Oladayo Ogunbowale.
Thanks for joining us.
All right, this is the program where we give you news you can use, serving you hot news from the dailies. We have, of course, the Punch newspaper and the Tribune news. We're right here in the studio. We'll be going straight to details behind some of those headlines that we read before we went on break. Buhari task force meet today over nationwide lockdown. The President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, will today, Friday, meet with the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 over the lockdown imposed on the Federal Capital Territory, Lagos, and Ogun states. The Punch gathered that the task force would brief the President on the war against COVID-19 and the possibility of extending the 2-week lockdown in the FCT, Ogun, and Lagos states, as well as including other parts of the country. 2 top government officials confirmed to the Punch on Thursday that the task force would brief the President on Friday, which is today. But at a meeting with the National Assembly leaders on Thursday, the task force said it had gathered data to enforce lockdown of parts or all of the states in the country. One of the officials who confirmed the President's meeting with the task force told one of her correspondents that reports and recommendations were still being awaited from some state governors as of Thursday evening. He said the president was supposed to be briefed this evening, which is Thursday evening, but we had to delay because we were waiting for reports and recommendations from some affected states. All things being equal, the president will be briefed on Friday and will take necessary actions. When asked if the president will extend the lockdown, the source said during the announcement some 10 days ago, the president made it clear that the lockdown will be for an initial period of 14 days. What this means is that there is a likelihood of extension, but it will be done only after due consultation with the states. We've collected data for possible lockdown in all states. That's the Presidential Task Force talking right there. During the meeting with the National Assembly leaders, the chairman of the Presidential Task Force, Boss Mustafa, said the PTF had collected necessary data and measures, including lockdown in all states. He said, quote, "There is acquisition of intelligence data to guide the implementation of control measures such as may emanate from restrictions and or lockdowns of parts or all of the states." As a matter of fact, some states have started locking down. Kwara orders lockdown in all local governments, and we have Lagos discharges 7 more COVID-19. It's not all bad news. We've been seeing some people getting discharged. In your state, we've had 2. Lagos has discharged over 30 now. I think about 39 now in total. And so, yes, it's not totally all bad news in Nigeria. 7 deaths thus far. Buhari Task Force meets today over nationwide lockdown. What do you see to this? Because
honestly,
from the PTF statements, it appears lockdown is imminent.
Issue has been actually giving me some sleepless nights. When you lock down, because I can see wisdom in the decision of Oyo State government not to totally lock down Oyo State. Otherwise, what we are saying will have been a different stories. There are some people in Oyo State, not only in Oyo State, that what they said on daily basis is what they eat. What is the palliative measure being put in place by the federal government to ensure that those that are being locked down are not locked dead? I can tell you, if we are fighting on boundary disputes now, we can tell you from Idiape to Bashorun, that is what they call Bashorun, until you get to Bodewasi. But nobody can categorically say this is the exact number of people that lives in that area.
That's true.
We know our borders, we know our boundaries, but we do not know our population. And how do you begin to distribute these palliative measures? And if you get to warehouses now today, palliative measures are there, the food, the rice, the beans, everything, they are being kept. As a matter of fact, I was informed yesterday that a particular company brought turkey, frozen turkey. So how do you keep that? How do you preserve that? Of course, some people will go with them.
Definitely.
With those items.
Definitely.
So I'm beginning to wonder what will happen if we eventually embark on total lockdown. There should be palliative measures. By now, we should not be talking of how they will share it. By now, we should be having it at our doorsteps.
Because a lot of people are already clamoring. In fact, people have been saying it from day one. Now your state should be on total lockdown. What is the governor waiting for?
No, our governor has done the best. Honestly, if your state has been totally locked down, then no, we will have been saying something else. You know, I think was it in India? People revolted.
That's true.
They said they prefer to die of coronavirus outside than die of hunger inside. And I think the same thing happened in Lagos too. People of course, you can't just lock people down in and allow them to die of hunger. Something must be done urgently.
Wow. Well, we hope for the best. We seriously hope for the best. There's a story on Easter and FG social restriction.
Yeah. Easter, federal government social restriction order still in force. The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, on Thursday said the social restriction order of the federal government to curtail further spread of coronavirus pandemic in the country is still in force, despite the Easter celebration festival this weekend. In a statement made available to newsmen in Abuja by the first public relations officer, Frank Mba, the IGP directed the commissioners of police in states where the restriction order has been in place to ensure due enforcement. He called on religious leaders in Lagos and Ogun State and the Federal Capital Territory, as well as other states affected by the restriction orders, to continue to cooperate with relevant government agencies and encourage workers to observe prayers in the confines of their homes. Easter, federal government social restriction order still in force. No plan to suspend lockdown order, says SGF.
Okay.
We've not lifted ban on movement restriction, says Lagos government. Sokoto extend boundary closure by 2 weeks. Abia, Imo, Ebonyi, Kogi, Rivers, Ondo lift ban on religious activities. Afenifere to Akeredolu, you succumb to blackmail to allow CAN to celebrate Easter.
Okay, we'll see how this goes. Talking about lockdown across the country and how state governments, relate with the federal government, it's important we look at this story. Rivers local government seals Caverton Helicopters office in Port Harcourt, page 12 of the Punch newspaper. This is one story that is refusing to fizzle out. I mean, I felt by now they should have been able to, but it's like a battle of wits here. I mean, ego saying nobody wants to back down for nobody.
I think there's a problem in this. No, not that I know there's a problem in this country. Because the federal government and the state government, they could not reach a compromise.
It's unfortunate.
Before an aircraft will take off from a particular point, there must have been a contact to the other end.
Normally. That
so flight will be flying at so flight and will be coming to your place, landing at so time. Of course, they are aware.
Let me take the story. I think I like the way your comment is going and where it's going. Rivers State local government seals Caverton Helicopters office. The Obio Akpo local government chairman, Mr. Solomon Eke, on Thursday sealed off the office of Caverton Helicopters located at the Air Force Base in Rumomasi, Rivers State. Eke said in a statement by the council's media unit that the sealing of Caverton Helicopters office was in line with the directives of Governor Nyesom Wike. He alleged that the firm acted unfriendly by flying into Rivers State passengers who were not screened for COVID-19, contrary to the directives of the state government. The statement read, the chairman of Obio Akpo local government area, Prince Solomon Ebelike, in a swift move this morning, sealed off the premises of Caverton Helicopters over non-compliance with the lockdown in Rivers State. This move was as directed by His Excellency Barrister Nyesom Wike in a broadcast against the unfriendly activities of Caverton, which has been airlifting unscreened passengers to the state at this time of coronavirus. Prince AK early this morning personally served the management of Caverton the notice of seal off at their office located at the Air Force Base, Rumomasi. The pilots were arrested and arraigned before a chief magistrate court in Port Harcourt on Tuesday for allegedly flouting the state government's no-flight executive order, while earlier remanded at the Port Harcourt Correctional Center. The state attorney general and commissioner for justice, Professor Zacchaeus Adango, who gave hints about their detention in a state facility, said on Thursday that the development became necessary to protect inmates of Port Harcourt Correctional Center. Rivers local government seals Caverton Helicopters office. You read a particular, story there. Let's take that angle.
Let me give you from another angle. The umbrella body of airlines in the country, Airline Operators of Nigeria, in a statement signed and issued by the chairman, Captain Nogi Megson, called for the immediate release of the 2 Caverton pilots. The operators condemned the arrest and taken into custody in handcuffs of the pilots on the order of Governor Wike for allegedly flouting the COVID-19 lockdown order in the state. The Airline Operators of Nigeria condemns the move with strongest term and consider it very unlawful in the face of the fact that the airline has secured all necessary approvals from the Ministry of Aviation and the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority for the flight, in line with the protocols and protocol for exemption of essential flights as issued by the NCAA. The operators also frown on what they describe as the crude action, as the pilots were only doing their lawful duty, which was also in line with President Muhammadu Buhari's exemption order. Excuse me. Exemption order of the oil and gas sector during the lockdown. The airline operators of Nigeria hereby demands the immediate and unconditional release of the 2 pilots with all purported charges dropped so that they can go back to their families for the Easter holidays and return to their jobs. However, similarly, the body of pilots and aircraft engineers in the country, the National Association of Aircraft Pilots Engineers, described the action of the River State governor as unwarranted, an attack on its members. He said, "We demand immediate release of the pilots and an apology from the governor, failing which we will direct all pilots, both local and international, to boycott flying to River State now and post-lockdown," the body said.
Okay, now that's becoming a threat. And I'm wondering how coveting. Well, okay, but I think.
But who actually owns the power to allow a flight to take off and land?
Well, the airport, I mean, in all fairness, is owned by the federal government. The federal government owns the airport. But then, of course, the government is not even arguing with them. I mean, we just need to understand with Governor Wike here. I mean, A-team or like him. I mean, I know some people want to come up with attitude and all that. A-team or like him.
Yes.
He's in charge of the state. And he made it clear that said, we will not tell you not to come into the state, but after you enter the airport, we will not allow you to go out. If you, I don't care how many people is federal airport, but you will not enter our states.
Yes.
The airspace over the federal airport, yes, no problem, do whatever you like. But that you will come in here and you want to enter anywhere, you will find find it not funny.
Yes.
And that's what happened. These guys came in and the pilots and the guys were trying to go somewhere. The cuckoo, immediately they just captured the foreigners, put them somewhere. There's no story. These guys have not been.
To the pilots?
They arrested them because there was a law already that you should not fly into these states that were on lockdown.
But they say they're on special assignment.
That's the challenge now. If they're on special assignment, because we need to explain.
Have the valid papers.
Aha! If they have valid papers, how come the Air Force officer inside the airport could not vouch for them? How come the state commissioner of police, who answers to the IG, not to the governor,
Right.
could not vouch for them?
Now, how come the minister for aviation was now defending them? That
2 days after. 2 days after.
Let it be 10 days after. Oh, it's true. Something is wrong somewhere.
I think I like this discussion because we need to see both ways now. When these guys came in, the right thing would have been before the plane lands. Mr. Governor, you have a lockdown in your state. We are sending people on official assignment. What's hard in that?
Right.
I can assure you, 1 million years some weekends with whatever attitude you might claim he has, will not deny if he received such an information. He didn't.
Okay.
And that's where the challenge started.
But the fault does not lie with the pilots. The pilots were handcuffed and taken to court immediately
because they violated an order. Let's look at what happened even here, right here in Oyo State. Looking at how states are handling their things. Oyo impounds trucks for flouting restriction.
Right.
Okay. The Oyo State Road Transport Management Authority has impounded close to 36 commercial trailers.
The trucks were not on the order of the federal government anyway.
Some trucks were given passes. Let's not mention some names. Some trucks like cement, and all that. Some names. I don't want to mention some brand names.
Those are private businesses.
Exactly. They have some, passes and all that. But when you do what you are not supposed to do,
yes,
you can be impounded. That's where the law comes in. Now, 36 commercial trailers and articulated vehicles belonging to haulage companies and logistics departments. The executive chairman, OITMA, Dr. Akin Fagbemi, said the operators of the trucks, while passing through Oyo State to other parts of the country, breached the lockdown orders by using their trucks to convey multitude of persons.
Can you see that's a crime on its own?
Okay.
Multitude of persons.
Bringing people who were not tested, who were not screened, who have not gone on isolation for 14 days. Is that not a crime?
It is, but they could as well be quarantined for 14 days as required by the COVID-19.
That was what would have happened. But I think in all of this, why I wouldn't want us to keep dragging it and all that, because I know the average listener at home too would have wanted to start picking sides now. I think all this would have been solved without even coming to the pages of newspaper.
Yes.
If Boss Mustafa, the secretary to the state federal government,
they have actually
discuss this thing. It's really no big deal. But if people want to keep standing down and then issuing orders, you give somebody 24-hour ultimatum, you are giving the governor of a state 24-hour ultimatum in his state. Things like this doesn't have to degenerate to this. Unfortunately, we begin to see we begin to see politics in this now. It's becoming political.
Yes, but because
it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. We don't need this. And some people will now begin to ask, how special are these people? On which assignments? How special are they that you begin to now give, special? Somebody was arguing with me that one Air France airline landed there. I said it's a lie. That me that I'm in the bad, I'm arguing with somebody. Yes. Don't mind me. I'll say no. Everything's on lockdown. He said, okay, no problem. You know what he did? He went to snap the boarding pass. He said, this person is my nephew, just arrived. Snapped the boarding pass and sent it to me. I had to apologize that I'm sorry, because I could see the date, the seat number. I had to apologize that I'm sorry. He said, stop saying what. I apologized immediately. Even though I had, we were chatting on WhatsApp. I said, no, he's locked. He said, my friend, sit down there. Some people are still allowed to enter. This is where I'm going. Yeah. We are saying we're on a lockdown. We want to help ourselves to control and curtail these things. There's no point giving special passes to people without going through the right processes. If you must give exemptions, do it the right way. Not that you'll be sneaking them in and then claim that you have. I hope you are seeing my point here. I hope we understand this as a nation.
If we have to start on that, then we have to go back to the arrival of this Chinese.
Chinese
doctors.
All right.
But they also came in without the proper approval from the medical and dental councils of Nigeria.
Those ones are still
and
even fuming now.
That is the highest body in Nigeria that can give you license or operational permit to work in Nigeria. They do not know the qualification of those Chinese doctors. The years of experience, whatever they have, that Nigerian doctor does not have, and the Nigerian government has not even exhausted all the expertise we have in Nigeria before they bring in those people. Well,
the claim is that they are coming to just observe and then teach us how to use some of the equipment they brought. We pray it does not go beyond that. I mean, I just at this juncture I want to give the benefit of doubt to the federal government on this, because they are here already. Anyway,
we do make order and we do flout the order.
Thank you. You just got my point from the beginning. I mean,
we make order in the morning, but
the ones flouting
we're already flouting it.
So unfortunate. 170 countries to experience negative income growth. Time check 7:03 a.m. Destination time 7:30 a.m. We'll take one or two more stories. We'll open the phone lines. Okay, comments on social media already. We'll open the phone lines and then allow you, weigh in on these matters. 170 countries to experience negative income growth, says IMF. I keep asking the question, is negative growth? Is that growth at all? I mean, because somebody is stunting and you're saying it's growing. Does that word count in this kind of situation? Well, let's look at the story. 170 countries. Okay. About 170 countries will experience negative per capita income growth as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic causing global economic challenges, the International Monetary Fund has said. The managing director, IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, said it was already clear that global growth would turn sharply negative in 2020, as it will be revealed in the World Economic Outlook next week. She said, in fact, we anticipate the worst economic fallout since the Great Depression. Just 3 months ago, we expected positive per capita income growth in other 160 of our member countries in 2020. Today, that number has been turned on its head. We now project that over 170 countries will experience negative per capita income growth this year, while noting that a bleak outlook applied to advanced and developing economies alike. She said the crisis knew no boundaries. Given the necessary containment measures to slow the spread of the virus, she said the world economy was taking a substantial hit. She said this is especially true for retail, hospitality, transport and tourism. In most countries, the majority of workers are either self-employed or employed by the small and medium enterprises. These businesses and workers are especially exposed. 170 countries will experience negative income growth. IMF. Wow.
Let me give you this from Bauchi State. Maybe the governor will also give us the receipt which he used to recover within 2 weeks. Bauchi governor fully recovers. Tax negative for COVID-19.
Congratulations.
Bauchi State Governor Senator Bala Mohammed Abdul Qadri, who has been in quarantine for testing positive for COVID-19, has now fully recovered as his last sample test negative for the virus. It is expected that any moment from now he will be discharged from isolation and resume his official duties as the governor of Bauchi State. A statement from the government house signed by the Special Assistant New Media to the Governor, Lawal Moazu Bichi, said His Excellency, the Governor of Bauchi State, Senator Bala Mohammed, has fully recovered from the COVID-19 virus. The statement further said the Governor, while receiving the result of his second test, which turned out negative, thanked the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, the local Bauchi COVID-19 Rapid Response Task Force, the imams, ulamas, pastors, and all religious leaders within and outside the state for their selfless devotion all through his time in isolation. So I actually thought he was going to give us the receipt he used.
He won't. Even the one they said the governor mentioned, it was in an interview, and the person was now saying that apart from the drug, what were the things you were hitting? I mean, people just turned the story upside down. He didn't say that's what he would do.
Yeah, I think it was used to boost his
immunity. It's not as if that's the drug that cured.
You go to market now, you hardly can you get honey.
It is well, no? That's Nigeria for people, bandwagon effect. Yeah. Time check, 7:08 a.m. destination time 7:30 a.m. It's time for you, our distinguished listeners, to join the discussion from wherever you are. Get ready to drop your comments on the social media or to call in on the phone line. While we're doing that, we're going to short break. We need to pay some bills. When we're back, we'll take your calls and read your comments. Please don't go anywhere.
Coronavirus, COVID-19, don't enter town. My people, whether you live for town or city, I been now for village, coronavirus not the fear face. You don't know age, fine boy or fine girl. COVID-19, don't enter town. To protect yourself from coronavirus, now to wash your hand well for 20 seconds. Soap and water, sanitize your hand. No more scratching or touching of face. Cover your mouth with tissue paper when you want cough or sneeze. Oh, you feed for your elbow when you want cough or sneeze. Make it give people space of 1 meter or 3 feet because coronavirus don't enter town. Coronavirus, COVID-19 don't enter town. Call 0800-9700-0010. This message now from Coalition Against COVID-19, CACOVID.
Newsbeats.
Thanks for staying in tune. Still Newsbeat on Oluyole 98.5 FM. We're back from that commercial break. Phone calls are here, massive ones. Let's take our calls right here. Hello, good morning. Morning, sir. All right, thank you so much. All right, let's have your comment, sir.
On this issue, I would say the problem we encounter is the distribution of the climate measures. The problem arises as a result of lack of databases for Nigeria as a whole, our state, our regions, community areas, and all sorts of things. Which was as a result of some planners are having, or planners in special sections. The planners were not encouraged to have this required better business. We should have better business on physical structures, social structures, economic structures, and also all sorts of other structures that are very essential in our country. We don't have demographic structures, or say the database on the demography. Now, if we have all these things, the number of people in an area will be known, the age group will be known. So the number of the government has to plan for will be known. So we will lack this. And I don't know where Nigeria are going in terms of planning. So we should encourage planners to have data sheets. They should be encouraged to have information at their key hands, so that when we have this, we will have been planning for this case very well. Distribution of pilot method will have been very easy for us.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your comments. All right, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. The lines to join the studio: 08055009850, 09025038006. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
I'm Falodu from Kwapa.
Nice to have you, Mr. Falodu. Let's have a comment, sir.
Let us not be for this time around. This is time for us to come together. One nation, one person. This is not that we have to fight. For the civil away from this country. It's the main policy. The policy for people are infected on
all right, thank you so much, Mr. Falodu. Nobody saying you should not do essential service, but with the way things are now, even if you're on essential service and you don't have anything to show, when you show up in front of a policeman, you will jog or you do frog jump. That's it. There must be something to identify you, and I think that's the necessary things we should begin to let people know. 08055009850. That's the line to join the studio, or you can try 09025038006. 09025038006. Let me take something from the social media. On Facebook, Elechi Matthew says, let them hear it now. Any attempt to lock down any state further will lead to public anarchy, especially in Osun State. Okay. Governor Oyetola should not be pushed to lock down Osun further. Vulnerable local government or community may be locked down as a strategic move and with adequate palliative. Is Elechi Matthew sending this from Osun State? Let's believe so. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
This is Chris from Ikene.
Oh, Mr. Chris, been a while.
Yes,
let's
sir.
have your comment.
Morning. First
Morning.
of all, let me tell Nigerians to be very, very wary of bank fraudsters, because they've been sending.
Oh, Mr. Chris, please call back. All the way from Ikene. Yes. In fact, personally, I received a couple. So, I mean, I can confirm what you just said. Yeah. Please beware. They will say they want to give you one money. They want somebody. Please don't. All these prank calls, prank messages on WhatsApp, on text messages, please do not fall for them. If they want to give you, government will share it the right way. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
I'm calling from Pishi.
Okay.
My name is Natera.
All right. Please go ahead.
I like what Governor Wike has done. I'm criticism of him, because once the country done like that, or our state done like that, Corona-19, can you enter any state? Please, I want you to address our governor. They will not allow the aircraft to enter. They will not allow, just thinking about our border, they will not allow the foreigner to enter. That's problem that no hamper all the states. That Look at that one, the one that happened in the Kwara State. Somebody enter, they will not allow him to go to hospital. And then they will do people achieve the problem from the hospital. That's my advice for our government.
All right, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. All right, Dara Simi Divine on Facebook is saying, Happy Good Friday, good morning. Federal government is in the best position to decide on the extension of the lockdown. Of course, they are the ones to decide anyway. It's Mr. President. Okay, this person is being sarcastic here. He said, Oluyole. Okay. Olalekan Adefemi says, well done and happy first Good Friday of lockdown. Okay. Ibrahim Saleh Haruna on Facebook is also saying, good morning, sir. God Almighty is always your strength. With all this, I just pray for better nation. Well done. I'm Haruna from Oduru in Ogbomosho. Thank you so much. Wisdom Adebisi Olawu saying the victims are recovering and they are saying no vaccine for it. Which drugs are they using? Ask NCDC. Hello, good morning. You're on. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Good morning. This is Tiger from Mombasa.
Tiger, morning. Let's have your comment.
What Wiki is doing is right.
Right.
He's not out to state. But the point is, all airports belong to the federal government.
That's very true.
Okay? But now, he says all flights are down in the United States. Good. And beginning. I can see that it's just a kind of a communication breakdown.
That's it.
So the only thing they can do now is trying to nail it down. He's pushing too much. He should nail it down. Then concerning the lockdown, I don't think you need a lockdown in your state. Yeah.
You mean a total lockdown?
Yeah, total lockdown. We don't need a total lockdown. But the point is, they have to talk to this NUITW. But if you see all these voices coming from Bere to Apata,
yes,
they are still overloading, which is not safe. Thank you, good morning.
All right, thank you so much. Someone just sent me a quick message. Not all airports belong to federal government. There are state-owned airports too. There are local airports that don't belong. But of course, the one we are discussing here is an international airport. It belongs to the federal government.
And I believe those guys are on national assignment.
Well, that's what we're told, that they're supposed to go and work on a particular, I think, oil installation and all that. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Yes, Mr. Sunday, how are you?
Okay, from where, sir?
Calling for Nife.
All right, let's have a comment.
I want to comment on the action of Governor Wike of River State. He acted in good faith. Without the governor, we are like him. Nigeria will have been an excellent country. Nobody will have been praising any state like that. What he has done, he has his own right. Instead of them to settle it amicably, they are making him out. They are threatening him. At the end of the day, if at all this matter get to the Supreme Court, we don't know who is going to win. And Governor Wike also has his own defense. Minister of Aviation ought not to have been making empty threats. He ought to have settled it in camera. At the end of the day, Governor Wike will make his own case in court. And this case will take a long time. And we don't know the end of it. Nobody can presume that somebody is at fault or somebody will win at the end of the day. He ought to have settled the matter amicably. He was making out after more than 24 hours. Why have they not called the governor? Immediately these people were arrested. So I support the action of Governor Wike for swift action in a dangerous situation where the country is facing endemic disease like this, and some foreigners came in to the states, and we are saying that there's COVID-19. That means the federal government is deceiving people. So that is just my comment. I give kudos to Governor Wike. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your comment. We really appreciate that. But I think we should also plead with Governor Wike too. You know, I mean, all this ego thing. Can we just, just allow this pilot go? Let the foreigners go on 14 days. I mean, even if you want to count 14 days, they spend like 3 days. How many days now?
He's been having political conversation now.
It's becoming political. Let's just shit swords and just let peace reign. Uswat Olamide Alim says, well done. The news these days are scary. Sorry. We didn't write them. That's what we saw on the newspaper page. Matthew Olaleru says, God save us from this COVID-19. Oh, Mr. Olaleru from Ilero. That's in Kajala local government, right? Okay. Thank you so much. I hope we can take more stories. Wisdom Adebisi Olawi says the victims are recovering. I think we took that a while ago. Agbo Mojo Wolewa from Ogbomosho says, please tell the federal government to stop selling us. Selling. This lockdown is getting up to a month now, and some are still coming in. All activities have been stopped, but people are donating to the federal government. Where will we that have little job to rest or have no free movement, where do we go? Please stop this hunger. The lockdown is not working. Okay. Okay. One more on Facebook. Damilola Samuel Ajibade says, good morning, sir. Happy Good Friday. My prayer is that God should save us from this country. Federal government said they've locked our border and some of their family are still coming into the country. Our Nigeria doctors are not complaining. Why Chinese medical team in Nigeria, they want to embezzle our money? Well, no. Federal government claims they will not be paying for these doctors. The Chinese company that brought them in will be picking up the bills. That has been confirmed. So we are not paying. That's what we're told. At least Nigeria is not paying, for this Chinese doctors and all that. Back to the phone lines. Hello, good morning. Morning, sir. You're on.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
We can hear you clearly.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Oh, seems that line is not getting through to the other person's hand. Back to Facebook. Adiola Sunday saying Governor Wike is right. Federal government supposed to have called him ahead. Simple. Adiola from Shaki. Okay, I like that.
Yes,
pretty brief.
Okay, I like that. Pretty brief.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes. It's me, Landlord calling from Ogbomosho.
All right. Let's have your comment, sir.
Yes, I want to talk on the issue of federal government and Governor Wike.
Okay.
Honestly, this issue at stake is something that is a reason along very well. We are forgetting that the Governor Wike of Rivers State is a lawyer. And he studied law, and based on what he studied is what he used to govern the state. The federal government has been doing this, campaigning on the individual human rights. And he has his own right as the governor of the state. Imagine, we said we don't want a situation where an expatriate, the foreigners, will enter the state. Because we know most of this COVID-19 we are talking about, it was brought by all these foreigners.
That's true.
Whether we have contact now or then, they are brought by foreigners. And this is a governor that is moving from one place to another every day. Moving from one place every day to make sure that the people abide by the law. So I surely believe that the federal government should take apology from him and they should let things go on smoothly. Well, so I give kudos to him and I pray that the God will take control of everything in Nigeria.
Amen.
Because 290 cases is escalating. It's escalating. This care is not taken. Remember, 39,000 in Lagos State.
Well, thank you so much for your comments. I mean, when I hear those figures again, it touches me in a way that, and these are the people we know. How many tests have we done now? So these are the people we know. God help us. Lion Dash Donut on Facebook is saying, well done, sir. Thanks for giving us the facts. God bless Nigeria. Okay, it's from Ogbomosho. Thank you for your comments. I think we'll take one from Twitter before it becomes something else. I know there are plenty there. Olayinka Ashafa at Brother Man of God saying Accountant General Office got burnt amidst pandemic and palliative funds. Same story, same pattern, same actions, but different actors. We joke a lot here. Okay, all right, we understand. Another person, Yusuf AI at Abu Space, says Dayo, it is very clear Wike is power drunk and needs to take things easy. Power don't last forever. I think we should say the same thing too to the FG.
Nothing lasts forever anyway.
So don't just speak Wiki and then flog Wiki alone. This thing is coming from two sides here, and it's important we share it equally. There's enough blames to go around in this particular issue. Exactly. Can we pick one more call, one or two more? Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Alaja.
Okay, good morning. All right, let's have your comment.
I support the comment I
Okay.
Secondly, please, I want to appeal to the federal government to reduce the cost of kerosene and gas, and to reduce for the price of the petrol, the kerosene and the gas, because it's the benefit for all the women in Nigeria.
Okay.
Please,
Kerosene and gas.
Exactly. All right. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. I'm sorry we can no longer pick more calls. Let me just take social media comments. Yusuf AI is saying, I agree, but Wike will always want to have his way, and show he's in charge. He's in charge now. However, the only thing he understands is force. It's just a thing of different political party factor. Will he have done the same thing if it were to be PDP at the center? Well, I can't answer that question. I'm sorry. Maybe he will answer for himself. Finally, from Facebook, Tunde Faukola says, good morning, bros. Kudos to you. To say the truth, let's call a spade a spade. We should not be afraid to say the truth when we are supposed to say it. I don't know which truth you are trying to say here.
Let him say it now.
I don't know. He did say the whatever, and all that. But that's the much we can take on the show today. Boluwaji is already in the studio. That's the much we can take on Newsbeat. Till tomorrow, when we come your way again. Same time, same station, 6:30 to 7:30. Newsbeat. I remain Oladayo Ogunbowale.
I'm Abiodun Akinkunle. Good morning and thanks
Very big thank you to everyone who make today's show a success. Thank you so much. Up next, Sport Tidbits. We hand you over to Boluwaji. What's Pastor Taribo saying? Referring us to 1998. That some people brought women into the. That's why they lost the match.
2 years ago.
1998.
France 98.
Also about the 1994 team as well.
This is treating. I hope no lady called him that they have a baby from that side.
I mean, a lot happens when you're in camp. A lot happens when you're in camp.
Imagine.
Footballers camp. You travel, you leave your country, you leave your family, you go somewhere else, you camp for 2-3 months.
Okay.
A lot of things happen. Well, like they say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Stays in Vegas. Provided there's no fruit from Vegas. All right, that's it on Newsbeats. We hand you over to the safe hands of Boluwaji. Up next, Sport Tidbits. Don't go anywhere.
morning, Ibadan. Good morning, Oyo State. Good morning, Nigeria. Time check at 7:30 a.m. And you already know that is sports time right here on Oluyole 98.5 FM. And of course, Agility FM 92.1. Not to forget, Okyogo FM 96.3. It's time once again to bring you up to speed with all the happenings making the rounds in the beautiful world of sports. Bringing you the latest, the hottest, and the juiciest news making the rounds from football to basketball to tennis. Name it, of course, golf. Yes, don't forget that it's the Thank God It's Friday edition of Spotted Beat, the Good Friday edition. Yes, let's celebrate it the little way we can deal to the COVID-19 crisis. And don't forget to pray that God heal our land. My name is Boluwaji Ogumola, and of course, we've got a lot of grounds to cover this lovely morning. Yes, don't forget you can listen to us online. Just visit www.bcos.tv or download a mobile application on Google Play Store and get to listen to us anywhere you are on the planet Earth. Don't forget you can watch us live on Facebook. Just visit www.facebook.com/Oluyole 98.5 FM, and on Twitter we're at Oluyole FM. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hit the ground on. Don't forget, I promised you yesterday, and I'll be looking into the issue that former Super Eagles coach Humphrey Joe raised as regards our 1994 World Cup game against Italy. I'll be telling you what we know, how much was paid, and of course for what. All right, let's start from the home straight in this lovely morning. Don't forget, I've been telling you about what coaches in the MPFL have been saying as regards the abandoned MPFL season due to COVID-19. Don't forget, I told you earlier that the coach of Plateau United, Abdul Makaba, says that his team should be handed the trophy if we can't continue with the league. While Fatosho, Coach Oveyima says that the league must be concluded because they have 5 outstanding games. While another manager, Fidelis Ilechukwu, who is the head coach of Atlanta United, has added his voice. He stated that the league management company should crown Plateau United champions if there are no chances of resuming the league this very season due to COVID-19 pandemic. Ilechukwu has said yesterday that Plateau United should be crowned because they have done well by dominating the league to this point. According to him, he says if things continue this way because of the virus, he's of the opinion that Plateau United should not only represent the country in the continent but also be crowned the champions of the MPFL. Plateau United have shown much qualities home and away, although some people still believe that the league is still open, which I also agree. End of quote. But according to him, Plateau United deserve the league and of course should be crowned. Well, that's the thought of Atlanta FC coach this morning, Fidelis Ilechukwu. Let's head straight to Tunisia from Nigeria this morning. Despite the suspension of the Tunisian league due to COVID-19 outbreak, Super Eagles striker Anthony Opoto has been voted the best foreign player in the Tunisian league. Opoto won the highest percentage of votes among the various foreign players playing in Tunisia in a vote made by players and coaches. He had the stiff and fierce competition from Libyan international who plays for Esperance. His name is Hamdo Al-Huni, and of course he only won by 2 votes, while Okpoto participated in all the matches for his club side, Al-Manstria, for the throughout the season, where he played 16 games, scored 11 and created 3 goals. One player doing pretty well for himself. Hopefully Kenneth Rowe will look at his side someday. This man, let's talk about an Nigerian striker. Yes, who has blamed his former club Anderlecht. Who has blamed them for what? Well, he blamed them after he missed the FIFA World Cup in 2018. Henri Onyekuru has blasted his former coach at Anderlecht in Van Zembroek for neglecting him after recovering from injury. Onyekuru poured out his frustration on his former coach following his failure to play him in the latter part of the campaign following his recovery from injury. The 22-year-old said that leaving him out unused was responsible for him missing the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia. According to him, he said yes, he had injury that year, and Anderlecht wanted to have a surgery on him, but his parents' club Everton refused and asked him to return to England for the surgery. And before the surgery, Onyekuru confirmed that he asked a specialist who told him that after undergoing rehabilitation that he will be fit to play at the World Cup. And immediately after the surgery, Onyekuru confirmed that he returned to Belgium to play. And of course, the coach of Nigeria, Gannett Rohr, put a call across to Anderlecht and begged that Onyekuru should be allowed to play at least 15 minutes so that they can confirm that Onyekuru was fit to play at the FIFA World Cup in 2018. But according to Onyekuru, his coach at Anderlecht refused to play him throughout, despite the fact that he had recovered and was fit to play. He said that was why he actually missed represent Nigeria at the 2018 FIFA World. In fact, he said that the new president of Anderlecht tried as much as possible to keep him at the club, but because of what happened in 2018, he decided not to remain at the club, and of course he left the club immediately. The season ended. Onyekuru netted 10 goals in 28 appearances for Anderlecht while on loan from Everton Football Club. All right, moving on this lovely morning. Yes, I told you earlier that John Obi Mikel is on the verge of joining Botafogo in the Brazilian League. Well, I've got an update for you on that particular story. Former Super Eagles captain John Obi Mikel has confirmed interest from Brazilian side Botafogo. The former Chelsea midfielder has been a subject of transfer speculation from the club based in Rio de Janeiro after terminating his contract with Turkish club Trabzonspor. Mikel became a free agent last month after terminating his deal with the Turkish club owing to comments that he made over COVID-19. It is believed that Botafogo is really keen on signing the Nigerian and has reportedly made an offer of 8 months worth $2 million for the experienced midfielder. However, Mikel has come out to reveal that truly talks are ongoing, but he's yet to make up his mind. According to him, yes, there has been an interest, and yes, there have been negotiations, but I don't know yet. I'm still thinking about it. I'm still not sure. It therefore remains to be seen if the former Nigerian international will move to Brazil, considering the fact that he holds his family very dear. Don't forget, his wife is from Russia and is currently based in London. Moving on this morning, we've got updates from FIFA. The Super Eagles of Nigeria have remained unchanged in the latest FIFA World Ranking released yesterday. According to an update on FIFA website, the Super Eagles retained their 31st position in the world and third in Africa. The Teranga Lions of Senegal remained at the summit of African football and are followed by Tunisia, Algeria, and Morocco. They occupy the 4th and the 5th position in the continent respectively. Meanwhile, there are no changes in the top 5 teams in the world, with Belgium still in number 1 position. World champions France 2nd, Brazil 3rd, England 4th, and of course Uruguay. Well, the next FIFA ranking will be published on the 11th of June this very year. Oh, you're listening to Spotted Beat on Oluyole 98.5 FM. Moving to Formula 1 this morning, where the managing director of Formula 1, Ross Brown, says that a world championship could still hold this very year, even if the season cannot start until October. Brown said that Formula 1 was looking to hold races behind closed doors. And the way it is, they are considering and discussing every possibility of having a world championship this season. Well, let me inform you that the Formula 1 must run at least 8 races for a season to be classed as a world championship. Already, the Monaco Grand Prix has already been cancelled permanently this year, while the other 8 races that have been called off so far have only been postponed with the hopes of rescheduling those races later on. to get 19 races into the schedule. The season would have to start in July rather, with the likelihood of running into January of 2021. I will just keep our fingers crossed and see what Formula One administrators bring for fans of Formula One worldwide. But of course, the way things are, we might just be watching Formula One on TV behind our closed doors. Alright, moving to tennis this morning, where a lot of people have spoken about the money being paid to Wimbledon, despite the fact that the competition has been cancelled. All right, so let me just bring you a breakdown of the payment of that particular money. Well, the All England Lawn Tennis Association, which organizes the Wimbledon tennis tournament, looks set to recoup almost half of its losses from cancelling the event, thanks to the $2 million pandemic insurance that they've been paying for the past 17 years. Wimbledon was set to run from the 29th of June to the 12th of July this year, but were cancelled for the first time since World War II because of the coronavirus pandemic. Now, according to reports, the organizers are set to receive a sum of $141 million payout thanks to the coronavirus pandemic insurance policy it has paid, which total about $34 million for over the last 7 months. Now, let me inform you that each year Wimbledon have been paying a premium of $2 million as insurance, not knowing that a situation like this was going to happen at some point. According to the chief executive of Wimbledon, Richard Lewis, says that the insurance, the brokers, and everybody involved have been working excellently so far, but there's still a lot of work to be done. Let me inform you that the All England Club reportedly updated its Wimbledon insurance policy years ago to include the infectious disease clause. Yes, that's why they are being paid. In 2002, when the world experienced the SARS outbreak, Wimbledon had to include the infectious disease clause into their insurance policy, and they've been paying $2 million for the past 17 years, and that's why they will be paid $141 million for postponing this league. Now, let me give you an update as far as that is concerned. The club's risk and finance subcommittee is charged with assessing all potential risk to the annual tournament, which include global pandemic, terrorist attack, or even the death of monarch, which would thrust the country in a time of national mourning. Which means should any of those things happen, they will be paid $141 million, and that's why they will actually be paid that amount this very year. And the benefit of insurance, really. Alright, moving on this small, let's talk boxing, where Tyson Fury's representative Frank Warren has said that Fury will not fight Anthony Joshua next, despite the coronavirus crisis playing havoc with the sporting schedule. Fury is contracted to take on Deontay Wilder for a third time, but the fight has been pushed back until October, at least the earliest. Joshua is due to defend his world titles against Cobra Pulev this summer, but his promoter Eddie Hearn has hinted that the pandemic could create an opportunity for the Brits to clash first. But Fury's representative Frank Warren has completely ruled that out. According to him, there is a contract and both parties are contracted to the fight, and that's talking about the third fight. I hope the rematch would happen in July, and I expect Tyson Fury to win that one and then go ahead to fight Anthony Joshua in November or December. Alright, moving back to football this lovely morning, UEFA has confirmed its intention to use the same 22 host cities for the European Championship, but has yet to confirm a schedule for matches. The summer's tournament has been delayed by 12 months due to the coronavirus pandemic. Talks are ongoing with representatives of host cities, including including Amsterdam, Baku, Bilbao, Bucharest, Budapest, Copenhagen, Dublin, Glasgow, London, Munich, Rome, and St. Petersburg, led by Martin Keller, the CEO of UEFA Events. UEFA has given priority for associations to complete their domestic competitions, and a working group has been established to examine a proposed outcome of this season's Champions League and Europa League competition. No date has yet been set for football to resume, given the ongoing uncertainty over the pandemic's peak across Europe. Moving on this morning, Wolverhampton Wanderers first team squad, manager and technical staff have made a 6-figure donation to the Royal Wolverhampton NHS Trust to aid the city's effort against COVID-19. The funds will support the trust, which provides services at various hospitals, community and care sites across the city. The club announced this yesterday. The club also confirmed that Wolverhampton Wanderers players have also separately donated to a collective initiative launched by Premier League players to generate funds for the NHS. Good one coming from Wolverhampton Wanderers this morning. Southampton has also become the first Premier League club to announce their players will defer part of their salaries amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Manager Ralph Hasenholt and his staff, as well as the board of directors, will also adopt the measures until June. Premier League clubs previously said that they would ask players to take 30% pay cut in order to protect jobs. However, the PFA said that that would hit tax contributions to the NHS. On Monday, Premier League players launched the Players Together initiative to generate and distribute funds to the NHS. And a lot of people have asked me, what's the meaning of this Players Together initiative that was launched by Premier League players during the week? Now, let me just break that down for you this morning. As explained by Bournemouth captain Simon Francis, he confirmed that Liverpool captain Jordan Henderson actually pitched the idea to his fellow Premier League captains that donations to the initiative will be anonymous, and it depends on what players are comfortable and willing to donate. He confirmed that the initiative was actually discussed among club captains on WhatsApp group and on the Zoom social media. Well, the arrangement is each club will organize their own donations, which will now be distributed across the country, and it will be properly monitored. Well, that's a brief summary of the Player Together initiative by all the footballers in the English Premier League. Still in the Premier League this morning, the Premier League clubs, we understand, will receive millions of pounds in advance payments related to league positioning and television fees in an effort to ease their cash flow problems. According to the Premier League yesterday, they are ready to pay the 20 teams in the Premier League in advance, according to their position on the log and according to the number of games as shown on television. This is one of the measures put in place by the Premier League to help ease the burden on football clubs who are having issues to raise funds because of the postponement of league matches across the Premier League. Also moving to Scotland this morning, the Scottish football season at all levels of the game has been suspended further until the 10th of June at the earliest due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Football has been suspended in the country since the 13th of March, and we are yet to conclude. We are yet to know when exactly all of that will end. Well, that will be all this lovely morning on the Sport Tidbit. A big thanks to everyone who was in part of today's production, and bigger thanks to you for listening this lovely morning. Well, I'll be back on Monday. Yes, Monday for another interesting edition of Sport Tidbit right here on Oluyole 98.5 FM. Till then, do have a lovely weekend and enjoy your Easter break.
about to listen to the hottest sound. 5, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. 98.5 FM. Ibadan. You're listening to the Urban Frequency.
It's 10 minutes to 8 on Oluyole FM 98.5 Ibadan. You're welcome to the commercial slot.
The novel coronavirus COVID-19 has been ravaging several countries of the world, and there have been confirmed cases in Nigeria. Some of the symptoms of COVID-19 are fever, tiredness, and dry cough. Some patients may have aches and pains, nasal congestion, runny nose, sore throat, and diarrhea. To protect yourself from the virus, wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose. Cover your mouth and nose with your bent elbow or tissue when you cough or sneeze. Avoid crowded places. Stay at home if you feel unwell, even with a slight fever and cough. If you notice any of the symptoms, seek medical care early, but call by phone first. To reach the Oyo State Ministry of Health, call 080-3821-0122 or 080-2322-9267 or 00-7343-1342. It takes you and I to stop the spread of COVID-19. This message is from the Oyo State Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Inclusion.
See, sometimes for this life, if you beat some people 1-0, they feel they talk say, now luck be that. But if you beat them better 5 bondo, hey, they go no say, master pass apprentice. Just like when you won't show your babe say you like her, you can't buy and gift only for Monday. She feel they think say, you still they look outside. But if you buy and gift on Monday, Tuesday, back to back, can't reach Saturday. Now then she go no say, you be confirm assurance. So next time, when you want recharge, make you recharge with better network, where go summer you 5 times your recharge. Like when you load 100 naira, they go stone you with 500 naira. And when you load 200 naira, they go knock you with 1,000 naira. That one, now it be better a woof. Just dial star 888 star pin hash on top MTN a woof for you. You yes so star 888 star pin hash. This offer now for both MTN prepaid and postpaid customers. Terms and conditions dey. So if you want better bonus, turn it up with MTN a woof for you.
Everywhere you go, MTN. Sometimes, she be fashion designer.
The dress fits you well.
Another time, she be cook.
I just cook that soup with the totori you.
And when you know sabi, she be teacher.
You get am. Oh yeah, clap for yourself.
And to put Jara on top, she be your #1 supporters club.
Go Jimmy.
This one, now for our Male, the heart of our home. That's the why for 3 Crowns, we dey always help take care of mama.
3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Alhamdulillah, ilé akéde ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ní kí gbogbo mùsùlùmí káfàtà fojúlọ́nà oṣù yóẹ̀ṣẹ̀ Ramadan tọdún 2020 ojú gbogbo wa ni ó ṣe pẹ̀lú ìyọ́nú Allahu ṣèbẹ́ ti mọ tiwa nílé akéde ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ pé ẹni abálábà ní baba nídìí àránṣẹ́ ẹ̀sìn la ṣe wá ń pe gbogbo wa wípé ó tún ti yá o kájọ ṣiṣẹ́ àṣegbọrẹ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ọba tó dá wa nínú oṣù lámúlánà ọdún yìí àti pínyàmọ́ ètò sílẹ̀ lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan wá sí àwẹ̀ tafsir ìrun pípé ìkíni lákòókò àwẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ṣe ń fẹ́ sí ló ṣe wà ńlẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ wa nílé akéde ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ wákàtí kan 30 ìṣẹ́jú 15 bó sì jẹ́ ìṣẹ́jú 5 lẹ́yìn lè gbé lẹ́jẹ̀ wọ́n lórí tẹlifíṣọ̀n àbí rédíò Oluyole FM 98.5 ẹ ṣáà ti kàn sí wa ní room 110 ilé akéde oríta Basọ̀run Ìbàdàn tàbí kẹ́ pè 081-2690-6777 081-2690-6777 nọ́mbà alága ìgbìmọ̀ àwẹ̀ Ramadan ti ilé akéde ọdún yìí nìyẹn o intanṣọ́rọ́lá yanzurukun.
nírú àkókò báyìí pàtàkì ní ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run nírú gbàbí èyí kókó làdúà fún ìgbéniró lẹ́mìí lọ́kàn lára ẹ̀yin òjíṣẹ́ mi o bí COS ṣe ládùá wípé agara ò ní dá yín o ilé akéde tí wàá ṣílẹ̀kùn àgbọ̀n ẹgbẹ́ àǹfààní sílẹ̀ fún kálukú wa fún wàásù àti wàásì ni o lórí rédíò àti tẹlifíṣàn lówó ta sọrẹ ẹ kú nílò láti yọjú sílé akéde lórí ta Basọ̀run orí àdírẹ́sì ímeèlì bcos ní kẹlọ èyí tí ṣe bcosmajor@yahoo.com àdírẹ́sì yìí lẹ́ẹ̀fì fowókọ́lẹ̀ tàbí béèrè yòówù ibẹ̀ náà lẹ́gbà fi ìwàásù tàbí wàásì ń ṣọwọ́ sílé akéde láì yọjú sí wa nítòwó sísan ẹ lè fi ṣọwọ́ sí wa ẹ wo ẹ má dààmú jìnnà o ẹ pè 0803-561-0142 lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ pè 0803-561-0142 à ń retí pé yín.
Please listen to these announcements. For spiritual needs and upliftment in times like this, BCOS is inviting religious preachers to book and send recorded radio and TV materials through email bcosmajor@yahoo.com and payments via transfer. For inquiries, call 0803-561-0142, 0803-561-0142. Thank you.
Ohun tí Sábọ̀yádé gbogbo ọlọ́yà ní í ṣe lọ́rọ̀ coronavirus ìwádìí báyìí káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé. Níbo lọ́dàdì o.
Tí mo fi ń jáde àbí.
Sọ́ọ̀gbọ̀ tí ẹni kíkálù COVID mọ́lẹ̀ rẹ̀ ni kárùn coronavirus yọmọ bàdí tọrọ fọ́n kálé.
Wọ́n wá sọ pé mi ni corona ń wá kí tí ó mú.
Ọmọ gbọ́dọ̀ ànàdátọ̀ rẹ̀ ó ṣe tó òun ló mọ̀ sí ní mọ́ lóun nìkan mọ́. Ìwọ ò gbọ́ tíjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ sọ pé àrùn coronavirus kò ní bọ̀wọ̀ fún ọjọ́ orí tàbí ipò tẹ́dà bá wà láwùjọ. Ṣùgbọ́n a lè dènà àrùn yìí nípa títẹ̀lé ẹjẹ́ wọn ṣọ́ra táwọn elétò ìlera là kalẹ̀. Ká máa fọṣẹ fọwọ́ wa lóòrèkóòrè ká sì máa fi sanitizer pawọ́ wa ká bomú bo ẹnu wa dáadáa bá a bá ń sín ká fi tissue paper bomú wa bá a bá fẹ́ wúkọ́ ká wúkọ́ sí gùnpá wa jìnnà sẹ́ni tó bá ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ níwọ̀n ẹsẹ̀ bàtà mẹ́fà tó túmọ̀ sí pé bẹ́ni tó bá ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ bá nawọ́ tíwọ́ náà sì nawọ́ ọwọ́ yín ò gbọ́dọ̀ kanra ká jìnnà sápéjọpọ̀ tó bá ti ju èèyàn mẹ́wàá lọ ọwọ́ bíbọ̀ lásìkò ìléwu ṣọ́ra fún un ká sì ṣètọ́jú ara wa lábẹ́ ìmọ́tótó tó péye bàbá wa rẹni tí ń sìn tàbí tí ń wúkọ́ léraléra ẹ gbà á níyànjú kó lọ yọjú sáwọn elétò ìlera ẹ̀yin ìyálọ́jà àti babalájé ẹ má kọtí ọgbọ́n ìsáwọn kìlọ̀ yìí coronavirus ń bẹ lóòótọ́ Olódùmarè ò ní jẹ́ àlùgbàdì ẹ o.
Ọ̀yọ́ State COVID-19 Task Force lábẹ́ alága gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé ló ń kéde.
ìran agbe wọn ní ló laró dídá ìran àlùkò ńlọ ló sùn ìran àwọn lékèélékèé ló lẹ fún ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ ti mọ̀ pé ilé akéde Ọ̀yọ́ láláṣọ àrà tí gbé wọ̀ tí kan ò sì ní jọ̀kan lábala àkọ́kọ́ ìyá àrà lọ́sẹ̀ yìí ọ̀nà mẹ́ta lágbègbà oge ṣíṣe ni ó ṣáájú ìyẹ̀rẹ̀ ifá ó tẹ̀lé lẹ́yìn èyí lẹ́wàá gbọ́ ìtàn tá a lè fi kọ́gbọ́n tá a sì mú ṣòdiwọ̀n ayé wa ẹ ó sì tún láǹfààní láti pè sórí aago ẹ sì sọ ìró ọkàn tiyín lórí ìtàn tẹ́ ẹ bá gbọ́ bó bá dọjọ́ Sunday adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run alààyè tó tún mú kọ́dún àjíǹde yìí ó ṣojú ẹ̀mí gbogbo wa ìdí rèé o tá a fi ké sí olùṣọ́ àgùntàn Benjamin Àkànmú alága ẹgbẹ́ ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ni wọ́n wípé kí wọ́n wá fìdáhùn síbéèrè àwọn èèyàn wa lórí ikú àti àjíǹde Jésù kí làwọn nǹkan tẹ́ fẹ́ mọ̀ nípa àjíǹde Jésù gan àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ wo ni ikú àtàjíǹde Jésù lórí igi àgbélébù kọ́ wa àwọn ìbéèrè wọ̀nyí àtòmí ìtẹ́ bá tún nítorú yín lójú ní ẹ béèrè lọ́wọ́ àlejò wa bó bá dorí ètò ìyá àrà lọ́jọ́ Sunday lórí rédíò ni o.
láfikún oníbejì lè yí àrà wa tọ̀sẹ̀ yìí ní Sunday tó wọlé